one piece of glass and one eye. Like some spy, like some pirate or something like that. Straight up, stick around. You are tuned to Ring Talk Live Worldwide, your inside look at the world of boxing and MMA. Open phone lines around the planet, 1-800-878-PLAY. That's 1-800-878-7529. Chris Eubank is a minus 174 favorite over the plus 148 Conor Benn. Emiliano Vargas, is he a future of boxing? He's a 25-1 favorite, a guy named Jonathan Montrell. We'll talk about that more with Boxing's PhD right after the break. This is Ring Talk Live Worldwide on Sports Byline, iHeartRadio, Sirius XM, Satellite Radio, and of course, live on Twitch.tv, the Sports Byline USA channel.
You know what I mean? Cut the cake, give me a little piece, nothing on the side. Cut the cake, I need a little piece just to keep me satisfied.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Sponsored by Specialty Medical. 800-913-9739. 800-913-9739. 800-913-9739. That's 800-913-9739. Packages start at $29.99 a month with signed agreement. Restrictions apply. Speak to a representative for complete offer details. See Vivint.com for license details. Terms and conditions apply.
Homeowners, if you're looking for the best in home security and smart home technology at a price you can actually afford, we have great news. Now you can get Vivint's award-winning home security systems starting at about $1 a day. U.S. News and World Report has recognized Vivint as the best professionally installed home security system of 2022. And right now, you can get Vivint's home security technology for about $1 a day. Plus, get free professional installation from a licensed technician. Protect your home and loved ones for as low as $1 a day. Call right now for your free home security consultation.
800-918-6189. 800-918-6189. 800-918-6189. That's 800-918-6189. Do you have a book? Get it out of your mind and make it a real book with a free guide to book publishing. Trying to publish a book yourself can be complicated. It takes a lot of time. Time that you could spend writing your book or even more books. Do what you do best. We can do the rest. Thousands of authors across the nation have trusted our book publishing service. We have the connections to help you get your book printed, distributed, and sold on Amazon, Apple Books, Barnes & Noble, and bookstores nationwide. We can do it faster than you can on your own. Get your free guide to publishing. It's a free phone call. Remember, make this free call right now and learn how to turn your book into something real that people can buy. Get your free writer's guide. Call right now, 800-482-8399. 800-482-8399. 800-482-8399. That's 800-482-8399.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
Dimitri Bivol gave up the WBC title, or a portion of it, or he claimed the title. The title was his. He gave it up because he didn't want to fight David Benavidez. Benavidez says they sparred a while back, and that Benavidez stopped him in 2 rounds. He quit in 2 rounds. Dimitri Bivol quit like a dog in 2 rounds. Bottom line is, that's what's wrong with boxing. In other words, he got beat up in the gym, but he wasn't man enough to try to do it in the ring, try to come back and do something different in the ring. I'm talking about Dimitri Bivol. Of course, my mind, I think the prime of David Benavidez may be going to waste. I mean, this might be going to waste. I'm worried about that. Of course, on November 22nd, he takes on Anthony Yarde. It'll be in Saudi Arabia. That's going to be on pay-per-view after the Sheik Turkey Jerky promised us it wouldn't be on pay-per-view, but that's another story for another day. Let's go back to this Dana White thing. Dana White, there's been rumors of some fixed UFC fights lately. Of course, I watched one of the fights. Isaac Dogarian was a like a 4-1 favorite going into the fight the morning of the fight. By the time the fight took place, he was only like a 140 favorite, and $16 million had been bet on this prelim fight. In other words, it was supposed to end in the first round. The UFC, the FBI went to the UFC beforehand and said, hey, something's up. The UFC went to Dana White and these guys went to this fighter, Isaac Dogariam, and his team. He said, look, I'm going to kill the guy, and he went out there and he laid down in the first round. And what I heard in the first round was, Sock, I don't know if you heard this or watched that tape, but Daniel Cormier is saying, why isn't he not trying to win? I mean, this was on live TV. It wasn't something like he went back and recorded later.
Yeah, there is a big can of worms, that is opened up with the UFC, and if you look at it, if you think about it, if there's a sport that could be easily fixed, it's probably MMA. Because in boxing you need that. Yeah, a guy could fall from a shot that didn't look that bad, or he could just stay in his corner. But in MMA, I think it's a little easier. You could, like Cormier said, you could try not to win.
But here's what's up. But a lot of these guys, they go into the fights hurt because of the fact that they can't. If you go to Dana and say, look, I got hurt in training, you're on your own.
Yeah, and if you don't show up, you don't get paid.
Yeah.
So you figure, let me double down on myself, in a negative way, and maybe not the most honorable way, but hey, look, whenever you align yourself, with them, you can't watch a single sporting event without DraftKings, FanDuel, and all these other, big money enterprises, promoting gambling.
Tommy D's got a piece of FanDuel. You know that, right?
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, well, I heard him preaching it a couple of weeks ago, man. Well, he sounded like he's a stockholder.
I told him about giving free habits.
Tommy D's in bed today. It's Saturday. He has to rest, man. That poor man, he works hard.
He is one of the hardest working men in New York City.
Exactly, without a doubt. All right, let's go back to this. Anyway, get this. Isaac Dogarian is the guy that took the dive in this UFC fight November 1st. Okay? The guy that he was fighting was Yardir Del Valle. And Del Valle was like, stopped him in the first round, and they bet all this money. Like 4 or 5 bets came in at the Hard Rock in Las Vegas for like $500,000 to $1 million on this guy winning in the first round. And this was a prelim fight. This was a prelim fight in an Apex card. The Apex Center in Las Vegas is like Dana White's auditorium that he had during the COVID era when we wanted to throw fights. But the bottom line is, it's a small arena. These were a prelim, and they bet $16 million on it.
Raises a flag, and if you're gonna try to do something, you try to do something when maybe not so many people are watching, right? It's a prelim fight, and it's like a club show. So, look, they've got a problem, and it's not just the UFC. It's all sports. You saw what happened with the 2 pitchers for the the Cleveland Guardians. Betting on throwing balls, 5,000 per pitch. The wolf is in the hen house, and they're not going. It's not going anywhere.
You're right. I mean, these sports betting things are all over the place. The NBA's got some issues, of course. Guys, shaving points and not being hurt, and telling people I'm hurt and not playing and that kind of good stuff, and affecting the score. It cracks me up. This is sort of like the reemergence of the mafia, because some of the longtime mafia families, Genovese, and a couple other families were mentioned in this.
Yes, that's right. It's like the Cosa Nostra still alive. Yes, apparently so. With the NBA scandal that's we're in the middle of with Terry Rozier, it's people. You watch the NFL, and there's always 1 or 2 plays. You're like, what? How do they call that flag? Well, it makes you wonder. It's just corruption. Corruption has no boundaries.
Well, this referee with the UFC, his name is Jason. Oh God, I can't think of what is it now. Jason Hart. Something. I'll get it in a minute. But the bottom line is, some of the. How can I put it? You can see things as the fan, as somebody watching that something's wrong here, and these referees make certain moves. I mean, there's one referee, I can't think of his name right now, but he, instead of stopping that fight with Henry Cejudo and that Japanese for that Chinese fighter in the third round when he got poked, Cejudo got poked with both fingers in both eyes. He couldn't see. He's telling the referee, I can't see, I can't see, I can't see. Yet the referee let Jason Herzog let the fight order the fight to be continued. Then it went into the fourth round. And then went to the scorecards. You know what I'm saying? In other words, I think that was really. I watched that and I thought that was crooked. I thought because there was no way in the world. It was like putting a guy out there on one leg. That's how handicapped Henry Cejudo was. He kept saying, I can't see, I can't see. Listen, if you say I can't see once to a referee, he waves it off.
Right. We saw that happen the other day. Tom Aspinall. Some people question whether he quit or not, but it's. I think it's a lot of moving parts when it comes to fixing a fight. You know, you need more. It's got to be more than the fighter involved.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about the future of boxing. Emiliano Vargas, is he a future of boxing? Tommy D thinks so.
Yeah, well, he's got the pedigree, he's got the last name,
and he
got
can
the
fight.
Look, and he can fight. You know, so there's sizzle and there's steak. How good is he? We don't know exactly yet until they step him up. But he's got the right. He's a Top Rank, right? And Top Rank knows how to build prospects up. He's got a solid foe tonight. A fellow by the name of Montrell, who's kind of served as that stepping stone guy. He got stopped by Tiger Johnson, who's also in that mix of future champions. But Vargas looks like the goods, man. I mean, 15 wins, 13 by knockouts. He's American. He dominates both the languages. That's star power all over it. Hopefully he stays in the straight and narrow. And it's harder for him because of the fact he's carrying his father's legacy. And you know, he grew up eating good. He grew up, you know, sleeping in nice homes. So
Suburbs.
He's a suburb kid. You know, what Fernando tried to ridicule Oscar about, I'm sure he slept in silk pajamas once or twice. So for him to keep that hunger, you know, it's not going to be easy. But I hope he does. They had the Lou Duva and Shelley Finkel, the manager and the trainer. They sort of had to sacrifice Fernando Vargas at one point in time and put him in that Trinidad fight probably before he was ready because of the fact that he was uncontrollable outside of the ring. He was having problems. He was arrested twice by the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, some domestic violence issues in there. So, you know, they realized their investment was like maybe going to go up in smoke, so they pushed him into that Trinidad fight a little bit early. I'm not saying he could have beat Trinidad, but, you know, Trinidad, let's be honest, Trinidad never lost it. He never lost it 47 or 54, did he? Ever. No, I think he's the best 54 I've ever seen. You know, I think that was his best weight class.
You think he could have beat? Do you think he could have beat Tommy Hearns
at 54? Did Tommy? That's a good question. But Tom, you know,
let me tell you, Tommy hit Roberto Duran so hard at 154 pounds that I can still hear that punch. I was 4 feet, like laying on the ring floor right next to the ring. It was like an unorganized match there. Some Miami promoters put on a match in Caesar's Palace, and Dilly didn't have the tennis courts together. But we were right there on the floor, right next to the ring, and I saw it was the hardest punch I've ever seen thrown in my entire life. It land. I mean, it was like, I thought it was death.
That was devastating. One of the great, iconic knockouts of all time. Man.
Okay, here's what's up. Wait, time out. Richard Torrez, I just got the line here from Vegas. Richard Torrez, a 10,000 to 1 favorite over Thomas Selleck. Tommy D's only 9,000. So, you know, it just shows you that, you know, what can I say? You know, Tommy D's up there with Richard Torrez. Bottom line is Tommy D and Richard Torrez, of course, they should hook up in the future. Conor Benn and Chris Eubank, pick a winner.
I'm going with Eubank. I think, you know, a wise man told me about size matters in two things. You know, born in combat sports, and I think Eubank's a little bit more.
Maybe I should change it to sex in combat sports.
Yeah.
But see, that would make it a little too risque.
It could be, yeah. I mean, since
okay, Terrence Crawford going to drop to 160 and fight Adames?
That would seem like the safest move if he's looking to, you know, further, you know, cement more his legacy. I mean, Adames looks like the safest champion, and they have a history. They were sparring partners at one point, so I could definitely see that happening.
Oh boy! You know, every time a sparring partner gets together, oh boy! I think of Jaime Mugia and Canelo, of course. What? Hey, have you ever heard of some guy beating some guy and then giving him a $125,000 car afterwards? Ever in history?
Like Dionne Warwick said,